At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, everybody, welcome. It is Monday. 76 degrees currently in Springdale, surprisingly enough, although we're supposed to have some rain on the way. So, nothing like thunderstorms on a Monday to wake your ass up. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, yo! What's going on, Hawk fans? Arkansas kind of adds some more to the portal. We're going to talk about that. Razorbacks get a win, or a series win over the weekend against the South Carolina Gamecocks. So, yeah, we're going to get into all that and more. What's left in the portal? What left do they have to do in the portal? How many spots do they have open? So on and so on. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. It's that time in the off season where we just take what we can get, and Razorback football had a pretty productive weekend, so that's always good to see. Let's see here. Shout out to the sponsors: Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. Check out their link provided for you down below in the description box. They do it all, man. Better than best results. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. 501-244-3667 is the number to call if you need work done. That's repairs, replacement. They do it all. If it has something to do with a garage door, by God, they'll do the work. Again, that's 501-244-3667. And, of course, the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzaria located on Emma Street here in Springdale. Great IPAs, pies, calzones. They do it all. Odd Soul. Good food, great environment, good people, awesome staff. So shout out to the fine folks at the Odd Soul here in Springdale over on Emma Street. All right, if you guys have any questions or comments, fire away. Razorback baseball, I just saw that this just happened right before we went live. It looks like Hunter Holland got SEC Pitcher of the Week. I think you ought to get National Pitcher of the Week in the NCAA. That dude absolutely crushed. What a game for Hunter Holland. Some of the comments, no co this week. Yeah, there's definitely no co, not after what he did. Appreciate the share, Austin. You're the man. Sharing and tagging on Twitter. Sharing is caring. Get caught up on. Yeah. So, what do you guys, let's see. We need to do we haven't done an Odd Soul poll in last few shows. We need to get an Odd Soul poll up. We need to do one. What should we do? Arkansas will host. That kind of feels at this point like, yeah. They've got Vanderbilt. They're on the road next weekend to take on Vanderbilt. So, I don't know what they need to do there. Someone told me they feel like Arkansas cannot afford to get swept, and I'm thinking, yeah, but they're they're still pretty strong in the rankings, you know? And of course, we're not talking about the top 25, talking about the RPI. Arkansas baseball's in really good shape. I think they're still top 5 in the RPI. Let's see if I can pull that up here really quick. So I kind, and I know this is kind of weird to say, but I think no matter what happens next weekend, I think Arkansas hosts. Now, Vanderbilt's not playing to their level of what you come to expect out of Vanderbilt. Let's see. Pull up the RPI here. So the new D1Baseball.com top 25, Wake Forest stays at number 1. Arkansas moves up to number 2. Stanford at 3, Florida at 4, LSU at 5. West Virginia at 6, Clemson at 7, Coastal Carolina. Well, they're always floating around the top 10, it feels like. Top 10, top 20. It feels like they're just always up there. Connecticut at number 9 and Oregon State at number 10. Vanderbilt, who Arkansas is going to be playing next weekend, 12th. South Carolina gets pushed back to 13th. They fall to 37 and 14. Vanderbilt's 35 and 16 on the year. Arkansas's 38 and 13. Okay, let's look at the RPI. Okay, so Arkansas drops. No, they move up a spot. So I think going into last week, I guess, they were at 5th. They're actually now at 4th. South Carolina's at 3rd. They moved up a spot from 4th. Kentucky is number 1, and they've been number 1 now for at least a couple of weeks in the RPI. They played a pretty brutal schedule, and they're 35 and 15. 24 and 4 at home. But they're 500 on the road at 11 and 11. Looking at these road games, like Wake Forest 15 and 6, South Carolina is now under 500 on the road. Listen, they started off the year maybe the best hitting, at least home run hitting team in the country, and they have fallen off. We could talk about the injuries to their bullpen, to their one of their starters. We could talk about that all day long. Arkansas, I think, has still been more devastated. When you looked at just a few weeks ago when you were without Tigert, and we know about the other pitchers, you had some really good arms not available for quite some time, and then you mesh that in with the guys in your lineup, your hitters, not being available. Arkansas's finally getting healthy, but like the job that Arkansas has done, that Dave Van Horn has done this year, it's simply incredible. But South Carolina, I just don't think they're – I think even at full health, and that's hard to measure, but I don't think even at full health, both these teams 100%, I think Arkansas is better. I think the talent's better. Obviously, I think Dave Van Horn's the best in the business, at least in the SEC. He's got to be top 2, right? I mean, yeah, it's a little unfair. He's got 20 years under his belt at Arkansas. But on the road, Arkansas is 6 and 7. Neutral on a neutral field, they're 2 and 2. So there is that concern, similar to what we had with basketball. Can Arkansas find a way to win away from Baum Stadium? Now, this is going to be a good test this weekend, no matter what you think of Vanderbilt. By the way, they have the 7th overall RPI. They were 6th. They moved down a spot. LSU's also struggling lately. South Carolina's struggling lately. Vanderbilt. Wake Forest, did they drop their series or did they just lose a single game? I thought they dropped their series. Maybe I'm wrong. So many teams in the SEC in that top 10 RPI. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams with Alabama right on the outside at 11th. That's insane. Auburn back at 20th. Man, they moved up 9 spots. Tennessee's right at 23rd, and there you go. That's your top 25. RPI, by the way, RPI. See, I don't know what Arkansas needs to do to host. I kind of feel like no matter what they're going to host, their RPI has been the top 5, top 10, I think, all year long. So I think they're in really good shape. And listen, 30 and 4 at home, right? 38 and 13 overall record. I mean, come on. First team to reach 18 wins. I was hoping they would be the first to hit 20 this weekend. Just is what it is. Hogs working the portal over. Boy, they are. Trevin McDonald, how about LSU dropping a series to Mississippi State? Haha. Ty, what are your thoughts on the Western Kentucky transfer? Yes, I want to talk about this tight end. Because we've had, and there's one of them in chat, we've had some challenges, if you will, to this addition out of the portal. You got Barkey's Gum. You've got Gums out of the tight end, out of the portal, a tight end out of the portal. You kind of felt like, and I understand where a lot of people come from on this, like, wait a minute, we added another tight end and a guy that doesn't catch balls? Like, what's going on? We're going to talk about that in just a second. What's up, Alex Anderson? Look at that. We got a Tuss Talk member in chat. What's going on, brother? Alex is not only a member, he's also a Patreon supporter. Or maybe it's one or the other. I don't know, but I appreciate your support, my guy. They were up 13-4 in the sixth, came back with 14-1 in 10. Yeah, nuts. If LSU sweeps this weekend and we win one, we win the West. Yeah. All Arkansas needs, that's the other side of it too, right? You could drop, I was listening to them talk about this morning, Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft and Chuck Barrett. I think they said, and again, I may have to text Ty. I don't want to speak. I don't want to like misquote them or whatever. I think the way they put it this morning was if LSU sweeps, and I don't know who they play next weekend. If LSU sweeps, then Arkansas has to win just one game, right, to win the West. Is that how it is? So I get it. You don't want to go on the road and get swept, okay? And Vanderbilt, again, is not – this is not right now. We all know how this works. I've said for years now, college baseball is really a season of two seasons, right? There's regular season baseball, and then there's postseason college baseball. To me, they just happen to be right next to each other. That's, to me, the difference. It's really after the conference tournament when that postseason really begins. So they could get hot. Vanderbilt could get hot. But right now, during the regular season, this is not even a top 5 Vanderbilt baseball team. Maybe not even a top 10 Vanderbilt baseball team. They are, I'm not saying they're bad, and I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I'm not saying they're bad. They are good enough they can sweep Arkansas. And, of course, you don't want Arkansas to go to Nashville and get swept. I think they end up – it wouldn't shock me if Arkansas, especially with them getting healthy – it wouldn't shock me if they went into Nashville and they swept the Commodores. I'm not saying that's happening, so please don't come at me with you're jinxing us and all that bullshit. No, I'm just telling you, it wouldn't shock me especially with the pitching lately. Oh my goodness. The job they did against the Gamecocks this weekend, oh my Lord, on the mound, I'm so impressed with this pitching. So much hate has been hurled at the pitching all year long, despite the fact that we're all very well aware of the damages the bullpen took, and you lost a potential ace starter, and you lost 2 mid-relief guys, and there's concern here and there about what's going on with your lineup, with your batting order, and moving guys around. Where's Diggs gonna hit? Is he gonna hit the 3-hole? Or are they gonna move him back up? Well, all these concerns, and yet pitching has been probably the most consistent thing this year. Maybe even better. Clearly, I mean, you're not getting run ruled in SEC play. That's saying something. We know how things went down in Texas against TCU and how. Gage Wood pitched in that game. Think about that. Think about the growth Wood has had throughout the season. Think about the growth that kid had when he was put on the mound against TCU and just got trashed. He was put in a tough situation. If I remember right, the scenario was something like bases loaded or runners on the edge. I can't really remember. And he just, listen, what was he, 18 at the time? I mean, I'm assuming he's still 18. I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's 19, whatever. But to be that young, and then you see the development of him throughout the year, and now when he comes out of the bullpen, you're like, oh, right, we're gonna get to see Wood come out and pitch out of the bullpen. Great, and you could talk about the other starters and some other guys, some other key pieces here and there. We've seen some pluses and minuses from everybody. Like everyone, I think, has had kind of a down moment this year to some degree. And yet you've seen how the pitching lately has recovered. It's not going to be flawless. And it's only going to get harder from this point on. They're going to give up more hits. They're going to get out hit because I'm not real – other than up until yesterday, I haven't been blown away by the bats. I was really hoping they'd get hot these last couple of series at the plate. Not that it's been bad. I mean, what'd they end up with yesterday? 10 hits, And what matters also is getting guys on base, of course, your on-base percentage. And when you've got guys in scoring position, getting them home. Arkansas has been pretty good at that. When they've needed to small ball at times, we've seen them be able to do that. That gives you hope for postseason play. Like, not only can they go big at the plate, try to go yard or hit into gaps, but also you feel like, okay, well they got some guys that know how to bunt. Okay, good. They can small ball a little bit. In other words, they weren't completely lost trying to play a little bit of small ball. But I've been impressed with the pitching, but it's the hitting that's what gives me pause for postseason play. But you know what? I feel like this time last year we're kind of saying the same things. And look what happened. They made it all the way to the College World Series. They made it all the way to Omaha. Someone on Twitter had us going 9-3 this year. Oh, okay, football. All right. You guys are moving on to football. Austin had an interview today. He sure did. Fishy says pitching wins championships. Absolutely it does. It absolutely does. Yeah, as long as, listen, you don't have to have 12 hits a game to win, right? I mean, you just got to get guys on base and get them on second and third. Get them on second and third. First base is pointless if you can't advance to second and third. Had a Little League coach used to say that. First base is pointless if you can't move your runners. And Arkansas's done a pretty good job of that. And that's why I think last I saw – they're not leaving a ton of guys stranded because I don't feel like they're getting a lot of guys on base, but maybe I'm wrong. You could see Wood visibly shaking against TCU. Man, he looked rough against TCU. Yeah, he was shaking. I felt so bad for that kid on the mound, and there were a lot of people in our Discord like, why the hell would you put a freshman on the mound in that situation against TCU, neutral site, not at home, against a team like TCU, and I don't know where they're at right now, but – and look at now you kind of look back at that and you go, Dave Van Horn had a plan for that guy. It just didn't work out that day. Dave Van Horn also said before that pitch or before that game, it might have been after, that he plans on Wood being a big part of this bullpen. Again, that's not verbatim, but it was something along those lines. They're going to rely on Wood, and he's been great. I've been really impressed. It would be nice to have Wagner for Vandy. I thought, from what I understood, it was looking like we could have seen him this weekend. Now, that was something I had read or maybe I heard on the radio like 2 weeks ago. It might have been the AM radio guys. I can't remember, but I don't know. He just had the pins removed out of his thumb. It's looking. I don't know that we even see him for Vandy. God. Trying to say the Vols. I was trying to say Tennessee. I don't know that we're even going to see him for Vandy. And listen, if the whole thing is like, look, we're going to wait to get him back in. Maybe we'll throw him in Hoover, for the SEC tournament. Maybe then we're going to give him a little bit more time to rest. If they feel pretty good that they're going to host no matter what happens, to me that's probably what Dave Van Horn's thinking about the most is just hosting, which obviously means you need to at least find a way to get a win to secure the ability to host, at least get a win. I mean, obviously, too, you're thinking about, well, we want to win. We want to win every series. I'm sure Dave's thinking about that as well. But in terms of Wagner, you want him back when he's ready to go, when he's full ready, and he's not hesitating on his swing or anything like that, right? You want him at full go, getting him in practice, swinging the bat more. I don't know what that looks like from here on out for him, but I really hope they have him taking some swings at least by the time they're in the SEC tournament. Like I won't be like concerned if they don't have him for Vandy because again he just had his pins removed. Like 2 weeks ago? It's going to take a little bit of time. That'd be a good question for Dudley Dawson. You guys should maybe I'll get Dudley on. I always say that. I'm like, maybe I'll bring on so-and-so, and then I don't. Dave Van Horn said he hopes to have him for this series this weekend. Yeah, and did he not say the same thing this last weekend too? Maybe not. Yeah, I'd love to see him. I mean, yeah, get him in there to some degree. I don't know what you do with him. Do you put him in the lineup? What do you do with him if he's not been swinging the bat a lot in his own free time? Like, what do you do with him? I don't know. All right. So Arkansas's in good shape. I think regardless, the point being Arkansas's in good shape to host no matter what happens. Yes, I would love for them to win the SEC West. Go beat the Commodores in Nashville. Go take 2 out of 3. Could you imagine if they go there and they sweep them? Oh my Lord. Arkansas should be ranked number 1 in the country. But who cares? I don't know that you want to be ranked number 1, man, because being ranked number 1 is like a curse. I think it also just shows you the complexity of baseball. You know, Tennessee being ranked number 1, Arkansas's been ranked number 1 at least twice in the last, well, probably more than that, in the last 6 years. It just shows you the complexities of this sport. Like, it's just so damn fickle. You can be the best team, and I'm going to sit here and tell you guys, I know you guys hate Tennessee, and I get it because I do too. It's fun to hate them. It's fun to watch them lose. That was the best team in college baseball last year during the regular season. The second part of the season, they just couldn't get it done. That's new to them. Tennessee doesn't understand postseason baseball. Their fan base, I'm not gonna call their players, oh, they're dumb, they don't know, you know. Their staff, they don't know. But really, that was all new to them. It's an expectation in Fayetteville. Like, yeah, no, we're going to Omaha. Like, yeah, anything else is a letdown. It's like it has the same feeling. Arkansas baseball right now, and it's not fair to compare sports, but hear me out. It has that same feeling when I was a kid watching Arkansas basketball. You know, when they were making Final Fours, they were making Sweet 16s, Elite Eights, and then you won it all, and then the next year you go back and you play, and then you make the Sweet 16. It has that same feeling just without the national championship. That's why it's like you're so close. And because of how difficult it is just to make the national championship game, you feel like you're so close. What do we say? What's that saying? I definitely didn't coin this term, but we use it a lot. So close yet so far away. That's where it's at with Dave Van Horn and this baseball team. But it has that feeling of like when I was a kid, you know, damn, they're close. Damn, the expectation here is so high. Now, obviously, I didn't understand the complexities of basketball when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Didn't understand it, you know, how difficult it really was. You just knew that, oh, well, no, we're going to make it to the Elite Eight. No, come on, man. We're Elite Eight, Final Four. Until it doesn't happen anymore. And then you're like, what on earth is going on? Why are we so bad for 20 years? At least in postseason play. What's going on? But baseball, it's like that is the expectation. And it has been for a while here, so it's a good feeling to have. No number one. Number one has all – yeah, no number one team. How has that worked out? We talked about this last year. No number one team has won it all since, like, Miami in 1999 or whatever. I mean, it's crazy. It does feel cursed. But, again, I think it speaks to the complexity and how difficult the sport is, how fickle this sport is. It's 2 seasons. There's 2 seasons. There's regular season. Who cares about the SEC tournament? That's like a gap. Nobody cares. And then I say nobody. I'm talking about like fans. Fans really, they kind of get into it. Don't get me wrong. I'll tell you what would help the SEC is getting that game the hell out of Hoover. Or getting it out of, moving it around, right? Moving it. Maybe move it to Baum. Move it to Tennessee one. Move it down to Baton Rouge. Like, move it around. Maybe that would create a little bit more excitement. I don't know. It's just so stale. And really the overall meaning of it too is just not as, it doesn't have the impact that you would think that it would. And then you have your second part of your season, which is of course the, the regional, super regional, and then Omaha. So, Dave Van Horn said last week it's up to his pain levels. Yeah. Well, hopefully he's good to go against Vanderbilt. Imagine him at full strength, adding him back to this lineup. God, they need him. Again, the bats, and it does speak to the injuries, right? Like they just got a piece back there, and now you're moving the lineup around. So, you aren't talking about basketball, but I sure would like to know what Devo's up to. I have no idea, Kate. I would too. I have no idea what's going on with Devo. You're like the third person, Kate, to ask me about Devo in the last 48 hours. I have no idea. When we get an update, I promise, Kate, we will talk more basketball when we get another update. So, yeah. All right, let's move on to football. Arkansas adds, what'd they add, like 5 guys over the weekend? No, it was 3. It was free. 3. Free. It was free. 3. Let me pull up the list of names here. You guys probably know, but just for everyone else. Where'd my list of names go? Here we go. Again, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got like 12 tabs up, so it's on me. Arkansas right now, 17 players out of the portal. The 3 they added over the weekend, Arthur Brathwaite, 6 foot, 195 pound, defensive back, safety, more than likely, out of Western Kentucky. Francis Sherman, who we're going to talk about here in just a second, tight end. We're going to talk about all 3 of them, but Francis Sherman out of Louisville, tight end. Do not buy that 6'3", 234. I don't buy it at all. Have you seen the pictures of this dude? Have you seen the images? His arms look like that thick. There's no way that dude is 234 pounds, or it's just all in his upper body. He looks at first glance, well, we'll get to that. And then they added Keivie Rose at Louisiana Tech. Now, I don't have Arthur, the kid out of Western Kentucky, Arthur Brathwaite. I don't have his PFF number. I've got Francis Sherman's numbers, and something we need to pay attention to here might be somewhat informative. Yeah, and they also have him at 6'3", 234. Now, the reason why they have him listed at 6'3", 234 is because Louisville has him listed at 6'3", 234. So everyone's going to feed off of that. I think that number might be a little outdated. Again, or that is the huskiest 234-pound anybody that I've ever seen. He looks, at first glance, he looks 260 pounds, 250. I cannot believe. Now, again, maybe the pictures I saw were like older, and maybe he was heavier, and they just don't have an updated picture, and his arms aren't as big, and his chest isn't as broad, and he was a redshirt sophomore last year, so obviously he'll be a redshirt junior here. He'll have, I think it's 2 to play. Could be wrong on that. So Francis Sherman, his offensive PFF grade is 53.7. All right. Keivie Rose, I like this pickup a lot for Arkansas. This is another guy. I would say I don't know. He could come in again. You just never know. When they miss spring, it's always hard to get a good idea what's going on. You know, if they could come in the fall camp and really make waves, it's always possible. I would guess he's going to be a 2-deep guy. He's not going to be a starter, but probably, you know, he's going to be a 2 or he's going to be a 3. We know what they've done at that position. They've added, what is that? Is that 2 interior guys? And then you have the incoming, you have the younger interior players. You got Miller hanging around back there, who's, you know, if there was ever a time, you'd love to see Miller step it up this year. But Keivie Rose's defensive grade is 69.7. His pass rush grade is 72.4. Now, again, I don't have Braithwaite's. I could not find his PFF grade. Maybe I added it to did I have it on my portal target page? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. No, I'm not seeing it. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know that any of these guys, none of these guys, as far as I know, as far as I could tell, are not going to be people who come in and just start, right? They've already missed spring camp at Arkansas. And that, listen, you got to take that to some degree serious. I know we could talk about players in the past. I'm not going to compare these guys to anybody post spring that you've grabbed out of the portal. Are they going to be heavy contributors? I think 2 out of these 3 absolutely could be, and maybe even Braithwaite as well. Maybe all 3 could be heavy contributors. Safety spot we know is, I don't know, if you're going to ask me the biggest concern with the defense, you've also got the Quincy McAdoo situation hanging around at corner, but I think Braithwaite, the plan is to play him at safety. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds. I think he's able to play corner, but again, he was recruited as a safety out of high school. He was a 3-star as a high school athlete, if I saw that right. Maybe he may not have had a profile at all, actually. So he was either a 3-star or not. Didn't have a player profile. Yeah, he committed and signed with, again, talking about Braithwaite, he committed to Western Kentucky in 2017, July 22nd, 2017. He signed he signed December 20th, 2017. He enrolled in 2018, and then December 7th, 2022, he hit the portal. So he's an OG at Western Kentucky. My God, 2017. I don't know that he has a profile. I'm not seeing a high school profile here. Well, anyways, yeah. There is film on him. He has junior highlight film that I found. So you never know with how thin Arkansas has been at safety. Now, Keivie Rose's situation, as an interior guy, again, he's 6'3", 303, according to PFF. I love that pass rush grade, man, 72.4 by PFF. We also have to consider the level that he played at, and that's always something I wonder if PFF separates, if they consider when they're doing their breakdowns or when they're ranking players and they're giving them their numbers. Do they consider the kind of talent that they're playing against? And will that 72.4 pass rush grade, will it travel with him? You know what I mean? Is he going to be able to have similar kind of production in the SEC at Arkansas? His run defensive grade is 65.8. So those aren't bad numbers. 72.4 for an interior guy is a pretty good grade for a pass rush. Yo, Ty, what's up, Will Bowler? How you doing, man? Any news on Holland? I don't have anything. Someone had taken something I said on the show on Friday. When I ended the show, I made a comment about Holland. Maybe it came out wrong. I definitely did not predict that Holland was going to commit to Arkansas over the weekend. What I was trying to say was something along the lines of hopefully we get good news this weekend so that way we could generate some news to talk about this week, and it'd be lovely if they could get Holland to commit or Texas let him out of his LOI. That was shared on I think that was a 247 message board. So I did put out a tweet correcting that, and I put out a comment in our Discord that comment may either I said it wrong, maybe I probably did, knowing me. But what I was trying to say, assuming I said it incorrectly, what I was trying to say again was that I hope that he commits over the weekend. Definitely had not heard anything about him commit. I have no idea. It sounds like the ball is in Texas's court. From what I think, the smoke in the air is awfully red. I'll say that. That's the smoke in the air that we all see. Nothing that I'm being told. That's just what everyone can see. The smoke signals in the air look Razorback red to me, with all these future casts and crystal balls clanging around everywhere. Certainly seems like he's going to end up being a Razorback. I don't know. I have no idea. How is McAdoo recovering? All I could say is I don't know. Again, we've talked about this too before. I have no idea. I heard he was moving around, but I don't want to give out any information that could be wrong. I'm not going to report on anything until it's legit. I've certainly seen some rumors here and there. I'm not going to report on that. But once I know something and it's good to talk about in the public, we'll report on it. We'll talk about it. We'll commentate on it as what I do. That's my job. I'm a commentator. I'm not an insider. If I get insider information, hey, great. Then, and if I'm able to, I can share it. Obviously, Patreon supporters usually get the first of that, and that's in Patreon chat and Discord. By the way, like, share, and subscribe if you guys are new here. We've only got 16 likes. I know we could do better than that. Odd Soul poll. Let's do one really fast. Start a poll. The Hogs beat. I don't know why I'm capitalizing the B there. The Hogs beat. Let's see. The Hogs take the series. This feels like a Friday question, doesn't it? Take the series versus. No, wait. I got a better one. The Hogs will host no matter what happens versus Vandy. How about that? There we go. There's our Odd Soul poll. That is up and running. Yeah, I don't know. I've certainly seen in, the rumors and what people have said here and there. I'm not going to comment or speculate on that stuff. But just thoughts and prayers are with him, man. I mean, that's got to be tough. Who do you think will be the guy who surprises us on offense this year? Asked Brody Farrell. Well, you say surprise, so obviously I can't say KJ. I can't say Rocket. I kind of wonder. It really depends on. So, okay, I have to start that off with what's my biggest question mark for the offense? And for me, it's probably the offensive line. Not in a bad way. It's just they're going to have some new faces, right? They're going to have some new faces up there. If the offensive line, and I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're probably at the very least going to be as good or about as capable as they were last year. You're replacing both your tackles, right? You're having to replace two tackles. But if those guys do what they're supposed to, take care of business, I kind of wonder if Andrew Armstrong, the wide receiver, the transfer out of Texas A&M Commerce, 6'4", I honestly wonder if he's not closer to 6'5". He looks pretty tall. Long arms, big hands, 6'4", 200 and whatever pounds, 203 maybe. I'm kind of with, Otis Kirk talked a lot about him throughout spring camp. That dude caught everything. Now, he didn't have the circus catches that Tesla had. I don't know what to make of Tesla because it seems like every time he was thrown deep, at least in the beginning of spring camp, he dropped every deep ball I saw. And it's not like he had a lot thrown to him. Maybe two that I saw that he dropped. Now, maybe he caught more and I just missed it. Later on in spring camp, Tesla was catching, he had a couple of really nice grabs, just leaping over everybody or making those one-handed grabs. You guys, we've talked about that quite a bit. The more I look at, the more I wonder if Armstrong isn't someone that we kind of look at and has that Matt Landers type of year. Maybe more catches and more touchdowns. Maybe he's going to be a great red zone threat. Maybe that's Tesla. Maybe that's Gums, the tight end. I don't know. I feel like I could list off about 3 or 4 guys, Yeah. All right, going back to these transfers really quick, kind of going back and forth. Francis Sherman. Let me talk about him for just a second. He's a guy that, that was certainly a hot topic in our Discord for a little bit over the weekend. Some folks saying they just didn't understand why they would go after yet another tight end. And as far as I know, the plan is to put Sherman on scholarship. This wasn't let's bring in a former walk-on. Let's bring him on here and have him walk on here. As far as I understand, I think the plan is to put him on scholarship. Again, they have him listed at 6'3", 234. With the I should have grabbed one of those other images so I could share it with you. The ones that I saw, and I'm thinking, there's no way that dude's just 234 pounds. I mean, it's absolutely possible he's 234 pounds. He's just got a longer build, so it doesn't, or a shorter, a stockier build. It just doesn't show up on the weight scales. I don't know. He looks thick. Why I know they offered him the scholarship is they need another blocking tight end behind backs. Guys, they don't have another build at tight end that's, at least as far as we know, that I saw through camp and what we saw last year and what we know they have coming back without Sherman, or without even, you could add all the other guys and not have Sherman in that mix. You look at one of the things, it's like, okay, what do they need out of that tight end room? If anything at all, if you're going to add anything to the tight end room, what do they need? They need another backs. They need another blocking tight end. That's the role I think Francis Sherman's going to play. I think he's going to be a blocker. He's going to be another blocker. Now, he may not contribute at all. You know how this works out. He shows up fall camp, and then maybe we come to find out that actually these other freshmen they're also capable blockers. But what I will tell you is, on the surface, it certainly looks like they need another heavy blocker. Now, it's so hard for me to buy into the idea that a 6'3", 234-pound tight end can block efficiently in the SEC. I mean, you would love for that guy to be closer to like 250, 255 if you're looking for something like a Nathan Bax, right? Bax is 6'4", 255. I mean, hell, they do have Hunter Talley on roster, who's the exact same size but a little bit taller, 6'4", 234. Luke Haas is 6'3", 226. Hold on, I've got another. Ty Washington, 6'4", 244. So if they got him thinking that, he's going to be another receiving tight end, then yeah, if Sam were to come out, let's say when they get ready for fall camp and someone will probably ask him about the late additions, not just Sherman, but of course I'm sure they'll ask about Rose and some of the other guys post-spring. But if the answer to Francis Sherman is, when he's asked, yeah, we think he can catch the ball, and that's why we got him, then I'm with you. I don't know why you went and grabbed another tight. I'm with you 110%. Why did they go after this guy? Now here's what I will tell you. His run block grade pass block grade is 71.2. His run block grade is just under 61. He was their second most efficient pass blocker, according to PFF, behind Marshawn Ford. So just something to keep in mind. And I think his role is, and maybe they'll say that. Maybe they'll say, well, he's, we think he can be a balanced tight end. He can block and he can catch. Okay, whatever. Maybe he'll prove it out on the field. I don't know. But I feel like that's why they added Sherman. They wanted another they wanted another efficient blocker at tight end because they don't have someone behind backs. I mean, again, I could be completely wrong. Who knows what happens during the offseason when they're in the weight room, when you're talking about conditioning and, getting bigger, better, and stronger and faster and all these things. A lot can happen in just a couple of months, but yeah, I think that's why they got Francis Sherman. I think they grabbed Francis because they want someone who can block. And if you lose backs, I don't know, man. You missed that piece. And not to mention, you're going to see some two tight end sets this year. We saw that in spring camp. We've seen Enos do that at other places. You're going to have some two tight end sets. You're going to have guys moved in motion, to be kick out blockers or whatever, to be lead blockers. That's what they're going to do in this offense. Or they're just going to line them up and let them run routes. We'll see some of that as well. But you're certainly going to have a 2 tight end set where one of those guys, maybe both, oftentimes probably both, are going to be blocking. And you need another guy. Think about those heavy goal line sets. You want 2 tight ends like that on the field that can block. They could certainly help out in that department. Let's see. But if we get swept by Vandy, then lose 2 in a row in the SEC tournament, we might not host. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're locked. I feel like they're locked in there. Well, that doesn't sound good. I don't know what you're talking about, Scott. Sherman is a pimp. What? What are you talking about? How much did our tight end coach have a say in picking Sherman up? I don't know. I have no idea. That could be an Enos thing, because Enos, again, he wants 2 blocking tight ends, at least on this roster for sure. All right, our odd soul poll: the Hogs will host no matter what happens versus Vandy. 86% of you say yes. Yeah, you've got to get to the SEC tournament. I just don't think it's going to have a huge impact on whether or not you host. I know that'll be the rhetoric around that time. It will. That'll be the rhetoric amongst fans if Arkansas goes and they're eliminated. Oh, well, now we're not going to host. I think I'm with the 86%. I think no matter what. But I also think they got a really good shot at winning a game or two, maybe taking the series against Vanderbilt. So 86% of you say yes. All right. Trying to see if we have anything else on the list of things to discuss. Doesn't look like it. I think we're pretty much summed up there. I think we got it all. Yeah. Could get some good news this week recruiting. I think they have a couple of visitors in town. I think they have a couple of visitors this week. I'm a little bit behind on who those are, though. So we'll get caught up on that. I'll probably, if they get any more commitments, we'll obviously talk about it. I plan on going live on Friday. I'm hoping to have some edited content coming out to you guys this week. My goal is at least 1 edited video a week. That's the goal. I would love to get to 2 edited videos a week. It just kind of depends on the subject matter, right? And it kind of depends on also if there's any real good breaking news. And if it's big enough, well, I usually go live for that kind of content. So, but the edited content, again, there's going to be more of it this offseason, at least 1 a week, along with the 2. The goal is always 2 lives, and I may not get 2 lives. I know that it's going to be somewhat busy this offseason where I won't be available for a week, maybe a couple of weeks out of the summer. I think we have a couple things on the list of things to do, but the goal is to at least try to have the weeks where I'm fully available to get 2 lives and at least 1 edited video a week. So, yeah. All right, we're going to end the poll. There it is. 86% of you on our odd soul poll say that, yeah, no matter what happens, they're in good shape. Not a lot of votes, but I'm glad those of you that took the poll took it. So, yeah, that's going to do it. I do appreciate you guys. Remember, if you want to join Patreon, that link is also available to you down below. Also, our Discord link is available down there as well. Share those with you right down below. Boom. There you go. All right, I'm going to eat lunch, a late lunch, but I'm going to go eat a late lunch. And we've got softball tonight. We have softball tonight. I was going to say hopefully it doesn't rain, but I don't want to jinx it. So, all right. I'll see you guys later on this week. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. And hopefully I'll see you again on Friday. Yeah? Sounds good? Sounds good to me. Let's do it. Let's plan a date. Friday. Maybe sooner if we get some breaking news, right? All right. Woo pig. See you guys around.
At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.